welcome back to Moon Knight. The first episode was very good, I thought. I'm excited to see what we got here. So we're not gonna stay in that moment? That actually kind of surprises me, that we're not gonna continue on with Moon Knight from that moment.
No?
I would feel the same way. I'd be kind of pissed. I'd be like, dude, someone explain this to me.
I must warn you, what you're about to see is gonna melt your brain.
So is the footage all just gonna be destroyed, or what?
Roll the tape.
He's still very adorable.
You donut.
No, just a minute. Here it comes.
So why wouldn't it show up? Did they tamper with the footage, or are there other supernatural shenanigans?
Still you, bruv.
Oh, that's fucked up, Mark.
That's not me.
He looked right in camera, knowing, or more than likely knowing that Steven was gonna see that at some point. Like, fuck off, Mark.
No, I haven't nicked anything.
It's a nice little reminder about those.
I'm a vandal. Should have been arrested.
Like, they really believe he could have vandalized it that intensely?
That might be my one chance to prove to myself that I'm not mad.
I mean,
Oh, mate,
it'll
thank
prove
you.
some things,
thanks.
but...
Cheers.
Oh, look, he moved.
Of course. I know you. Number 43, right?
This is a very good location for something kind of creepy to go down. So fingers crossed that I'm gonna get my wish. Looks like a very sturdy lock, actually. I'm so curious. Come on, what is it? Almost kind of looks like a... Okay, yeah, so it's like his apartment, basically. Steven gets the flat, Mark gets the storage locker. I get the feeling Mark is definitely gonna make an appearance if Steven's digging around through his things. The way he holds it.
Mark Spector.
It's real. What is it? What does it do? Whoa, okay, I wasn't expecting that.
Whoa.
Oh, it's like a compass.
There he is. Here he comes.
Hello.
So this is what's gonna happen.
Explain
Lay
it.
down on that cot back
Just explain it.
Are you joking? Look, I don't care how bloody handsome you are. Tell me what it is you are.
You sure you want to know?
Yes.
Yes.
fine, yes.
And deliver Khonshu's justice to those who hurt them.
Oh my God, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I eat one piece of steak and then bam, a panic attack.
Oh, Steven, it's okay. Just deep breaths.
And you'll never hear from me again. You want my body?
Steven?
Right, yeah. Mark, how about this for a deal? And hopefully, NHS will fill me with enough pills
Yeah, I don't think that's
that you get out of
gonna
my
work
head.
out that way, Steven. Oh, that is so cool. That's awesome. Ooh, that is super scary. Alright. Like, I know Khonshu's not gonna kill him or anything, but that was really good. Oh. He actually got out.
Mark? Where have you been?
Oh, was that Layla?
Layla?
Okay, yeah, I'm still your wife.
What?
Are we married?
Mark, that was kind of important information you probably should have shared as well.
Getting home.
Like, just please. Roll with it, please.
Just want my life back.
Yeah.
Honestly, though.
No, this is my mum's flat.
What's going on with the mom? That does seem like it's gonna lead to something.
Language, it's more
Like an alphabet.
Well, someone knows their
Is there gonna be some discussion on, like, multiple personalities and like
No, I'm
multiple
sorry, I'm not buying
personalities all being interested in the same person, or am I just reading too much into that? He's so cute.
After everything.
Divorce?
Aww.
Yeah, what are you doing?
What are you doing? What is going on?
Look, this Mark, on the other hand, is a right twit.
Yeah, agreed. Yep. Fuck you.
Steven, listen to me. And inside of it, stop what you're doing right now. You're gonna get her killed. You hear me? You show her that scarab. You're responsible when they come after her. Nothing.
God damn it.
Wait.
Well, too late now.
Scarab pointing to Amatu Shakti? What
Oh,
we fought
you-
side by side for.
Oh.
This yourself.
Yeah, wait, Mark, if she already was
Stop!
doing this with you, why would you
I'm
not?
supposed to believe anything you say with this. Why we've been looking for this.
Certainly
Our
don't.
adventures.
Nope.
Or our life together.
I'm very sorry, but no.
Stephen Graham,
Yeah,
mind if we come in, Mr. Graham?
I do.
You know, actually, that right.
Appreciate it.
Fucking
Anyone else there with
asshole.
you?
Here with me.
These
no,
do not seem like actual
Me and
cops.
my fish. It's a paperweight.
Yeah.
Where'd you get it?
Paperweight shop.
Nicely done.
You're in possession of it.
I don't have it. I don't. No, it's not here.
Luckily, she has that on her person. Oh shit. Okay, well, that's also not good.
Mark Spector was part of a team of mercenaries that hit dig site in Egypt, shot in the back of the head. Execution style.
Damn. Maybe they deserved it. Yeah, this certainly don't look like a police station. Motherfucker. Yeah, Mark, I know things aren't great right now, but I could use a little help.
I am never giving you control again.
Now's a
You
good.
hear me?
Now's kind of a good time to do it, though.
I hear you loud and clear, Stephen Grant of the gift shop.
Oh shit.
But they're terrific.
Yeah, they're lovely.
Yeah, they're great.
Khonshu chose you as his avatar because your mind would be so easy to break, or because it was broken already?
Well, you don't have to be that much of an asshole. Jesus.
Just need some help, maybe.
No, Steven.
I'd love to take this opportunity to show you around. It's all right. It's all right. It's all he can do without your help. This neighborhood.
That means that's all your God can do without
Crime,
your help, too.
There was so much
Interesting.
suffering, so much playing to their pain.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yes. Just Layla.
Okay. Nice. I gotta say, the visuals and the visual effects specifically, I think have been a lot better in this episode so far. So he's got himself like a little
I know
commune.
being on the right side of things.
I am real justice.
I do admit that's better justice than whatever bullshit Ethan Hawke is trying to do. Arthur, sorry.
I was his former avatar.
Really?
Casting our judgment before any evil's done.
She can't know what everyone's gonna do their whole life.
Well, maybe you know someone who does.
Don't you say her name.
You don't get the body right now, but
May I
don't
speak
give
with
up the name. No, you may not.
That this is your last mission. Then you'll be free.
Would she kill a child for something they might do in 30 years?
Thank you.
Glad you mentioned that.
You're all into that, like killing children and that. So maybe that's just me, but kind of draw a line there at
Thank you. Me too.
child murder.
A tiny sliver of her power.
Right.
Where is the scarab?
Not telling you.
Where's the scarab?
I haven't.
Oh. Layla, why would you actually bring it with you?
Summon the suit.
Some of the suit.
Does anyone want to teach me how?
So be it.
Oh my god, someone tell him how to do it. Please. Oh. So that's how the jackal showed up before. He just like summons creatures with that. That's kind of cool. Alright, so she can definitely handle herself. Oh, that looks really cool. Alright, suit time. Someone,
Oh my god.
Mark, Khonshu, you want to explain how you do the whole little... Just tell Steven how to summon it, god damn it.
Are you? Find another way.
Ah, damn it.
Come on, Jackal.
Oh, she can't even see it? So that's why it wasn't on the footage. Interesting. How? Oh. What? What? What just happened?
That should have been much worse. It looks sharp, though.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
Where is the scarab?
I like this.
Maybe a little too much comedy for that moment, but it was entertaining. Oh.
Can't handle this.
Maybe. Alright, go for it, Steven.
Come on.
Come on, Steven. I have to admit, I'm not super confident in Steven's ability right now. Okay. Never mind. Sorry, guys. I mean, hey, for your first rodeo, it could have gone a lot worse. Well, I guess it's not over.
Someone's gonna get hurt if you don't let me help.
All right, here we go. Oh, nice. All right, that was a pretty cool suit up moment. All right, so this is gonna be our first like legitimate, you know, superhero action sequence, I suppose. Oh, that was pretty cool. That was nice. Oh. Damn. A little theatrical. You didn't exactly have to spear him right there. Cool. Now, did you actually give Steven control, or are you still Mark? You did not give control back, you dick. Fuck. The judgment's not gonna be... Oh. You didn't even give him like a full judgment. What the hell was that? So he does not need to do the full ritual to just suck the soul out of you. That's awful.
This is what it's like,
Oh.
being on the inside. I feel like I can scarcely move. It's alright, just breathe.
Oh.
Get you have my body back. Can't do that right now, Steve.
How long have these personalities been around?
I lost my job. It's been
Oh.
you. It's always been you. Eating away parts of my life like a parasite. You abandoned your wife. You left her stranded.
talking about?
Yes, you did. I saw.
It does
I saw
seem a
You
little
had his
like you
eyes on her.
abandoned her.
He wants her as my replacement, and I'm never gonna let that happen. You hear me? You're a liar. I
Oh.
don't believe you. I don't trust any. Just shut up. Stop it. Moment. Steven, shut up. I promise.
I think you got some anger control problems, but hey, so do I.
You swore he would not interfere.
Well, you really bought that?
Handle it.
We need each other. Should we part, you may not like my next candidate as she is to you.
That's really fucked up, dude. Is there a way to eradicate Khonshu? Because that genuinely bothers me. That he's like, oh yeah, sure, I'll let you go, but then I'm gonna take the woman you love. I'm like, that is super fucked. Then on top of that, all the shit where basically Mark and Steven are both parasites on each other's lives. Like, we went all the way to Egypt? Don't end the episode right there, you fucking assholes. Well, I didn't like it as much as the first one, but I did definitely enjoy it. Well, this is an interesting one because there were aspects of this episode that I thought were extremely well done, and other parts that just didn't quite land for me. Everything having to do with Steven, like, exploring this mystery and trying to assert control in his life, I think that was all great. I really liked that. And it breaks my heart seeing just how much it hurts Steven to know that he has so much blood on his hands and he's not in control of what's going on. Especially there at the end when he's like, this is horrible, I feel like I can't move. I was like, oh my poor Steven. But I love that conversation because it shows, you know, Mark isn't really the bad guy in the situation, which I kind of anticipated, but I'm still a little pissy with him over a couple things. But just the fact that Steven is like so uncomfortable and terrified by that sensation of being on the inside, as he said, it shows that, you know, that's what Mark's been dealing with, as he said, for a long time, and that is pretty horrible. That's really awful. But unfortunately, for someone with multiple personalities, that's not something that just goes away. Like, you have to deal with that. You have to learn how to live with multiple people, either living multiple lives or find a way to harmoniously live one, which, you know, that's optimistic, so we'll see. One of the best scenes of the episode for me was when Steven finds the storage room, because one, it's a bunch of the mystery unfolding all at once. There's actually a pretty interesting conversation that he and Mark have, and then just the awesome moment of like horror filmmaking right after that with Khonshu. Again, it's not really horror per se, because you know Khonshu's not like gonna kill him or anything, but the way they film it is straight out of any good scary movie. Like, seeing the lights flicker closer and closer to him, at first very slowly, and then really, really fast, and he's right there. Like, oh, that was good. Again, even though I know he's not there to, like, hurt or kill him or anything, I still felt my heart race from that moment. I was like, woo, that is spooky. The stuff with Layla, I actually did find pretty interesting because I was not anticipating the marriage angle at all. That really complicated the situation for a lot of different reasons. The biggest being she's married to Mark, not Steven. So what does that mean for Steven and for Layla, honestly? Because, you know, this is the body of the person that she has married and fallen in love with and gone on all these adventures with. But Mark is currently not present. It's Steven. Well, I guess now it is Mark. The stuff with Arthur, for the most part, I enjoyed it just because I do enjoy Ethan Hawke as an actor. And it gives us a good opportunity to see, you know, their whole base of operations, how they're set up, why these people would enjoy, you know, working for this guy. But at the same time, a lot of the information just felt repeated from the last one. Just different arguments for the same thing, basically. Like him explaining how Hitler could have been solved with Ahmet is basically the same thing as saying like, oh, well, you know, with an amputation, you save other complications by cutting it off now. Like, it's just a different way of saying it. And for a bit of that scene, I was kind of like, okay, please, like, move on to a new topic. But then as soon as Layla got thrown into it, I was like, oh. Then it got kind of spicy, and I was like, all right, this is good. And it also served as a good introduction to the staff, or staff cane, whatever. So clearly it's used for more than just judgment. It can, like, summon monsters from another dimension, apparently. Or the afterlife, or whatever. Like, he can summon monsters, okay? And I have to admit, I did really enjoy Steven trying to figure out how to use these powers himself. I'm really glad it's not just like, oh, only Mark can become Moon Knight, because that would be bullshit. I mean, technically, Steven became the, what is the name of the character? Mr. Knight or something? I know there's a version of Moon Knight where it's like a club owner or something, but it basically looks like this. If I recall, though, that character is its own personality outright, so I wonder if people are going to be pissed about that. It didn't really bother me. It was an entertaining gag. What did bother me about that scene was the whole invisible creature that I can't see. I think that scene in general just needed to have been trimmed down a little bit, because there's just such a long period of time where you're seeing the two of them, like, you know, bounce around from nothing. Like, there's a portion of the fight where it has, like, the water dripping down, so you can sort of see where it's supposed to be. But even still, it's mostly just them fighting air, and that gets pretty boring. I think if they had intercut it back and forth where you could see it from Steven's perspective, and then you couldn't from Layla's, I think that would have worked a lot better. But they just went such a long portion of that fight where you just couldn't see what it was doing. And it's a little frustrating, but realistic that Steven had to kind of hand over the reins to Mark, because just couldn't really cut it. Like, maybe he could have won the fight, but the chances of getting someone hurt were pretty high, and Mark could get it far away. I still say it's a little theatrical that he, like, stabbed him on the top of such a scenic place in the city rather than just get him around the corner and then kill him real quick. But I mean, it was cool. In Khonshu, interestingly enough, like at the midway point of the episode, I was like, oh, they're actually making me kind of like him a little bit, because he's making some valid points, you know? He administers justice to people who have actually committed a crime. He doesn't preemptively do it to people. And he was at least, like, telling Steven to do something rather than just say, like, oh, you know, Mr. Idiot. He was like, kill him, you know, crush his windpipe. And that's a little more constructive. I appreciate that a bit more. But then I was like, I may never like your character, actually. As soon as it was revealed that he basically will just have Layla become his next avatar as soon as Mark is done with this mission, which is why he will perpetually always be doing this mission just to protect her from that. And that is so fucked up. That is so fucked up. It does make me feel for the character of Mark, for sure. I was like, oh, well, that explains why you are a little heavy-handed in the way you deal with a lot of this. But more than anything, it just made me really hate Khonshu. But moving on to the technicals. Writing in this episode. Well, in terms of character motivations, this was really an episode that kind of explained those motivations, which I appreciated. Namely for Mark, his whole character, I'm like, oh, okay, I definitely understand you just a bit better now. And his decisions in the former episode and in this one, I think, make a lot of sense given the circumstances. Layla's as well. I really appreciated the moment where she like stops and says, okay, Steven, like, you can do this. And when he says he can't, she's like, all right, it's okay. We'll figure something else out. I thought it was definitely a moment where her love for Mark was able to like pull them through that moment. I mean, it didn't really affect anything really, but still, in terms of character, it did feel in character for the brief time I've known her. Arthur's motivations are also becoming a lot more clear with the reveal that he was the former avatar of Khonshu. And given how much I also don't like Khonshu, I get the feeling they're going to show or explain exactly what set Arthur over the edge and turn to Amit instead to exact a different kind of revenge. So yeah, I thought that was all very good. Plot progression, there's definitely a lot here. One of the reasons I like 6-episode seasons, or like 8-episode seasons, there's not really much time to fuck about, so the episodes just go, go, go. Because yeah, here we got the reveal that the scarab is a compass to Amit's tomb. We're revealed what Mark's mission is, and that's to get to that tomb. I'm assuming to find a way to seal or destroy Amit, entirely. We know now why Mark wants to stay as Moon Knight and won't give it up, and how he got those, abilities and all that in the first place. To a degree, we understand that he was basically dead, and then Khonshu brought him back to life as an exchange. Steven got fired from his job, which, I'm surprised it took this long, honestly. Steven also sort of learned how to summon the suit. He'll get there. And at the very end, we are now in Egypt. So, like I said, there's a lot of progression. There's a lot of stuff happening, which in turn means the pacing was very fast-paced for this episode. There are a couple moments where I do think it drags, but it's more like the scene itself is dragging, not the episode is. And I like a good quick pace, so no complaints from me there. So for writing, I'm gonna go for 9 out of 10. I really liked it. Editing. There were actually a couple editing choices I didn't really like in here. During that big horror sequence in the storage facility, there was just this really weird take. It was a choice, and I'm sure there's some people that enjoyed it. And in the moment, I thought it was funny, but considering how they preceded the scene, I didn't really like the edit. And that was the moment when it freeze frames on his face while he's screaming, and then it cuts to him outside, having got away. It almost felt like the editors were, going frame by frame to find the cut, and then they saw that still frame and they were like, that is too funny, and then just decided to make that the edit. And there's also a moment right before that where it does this kind of pseudo slow motion for Steven as he's running. And again, I was like, I don't really feel like that's necessary right here. They did use a pretty clever cut to avoid having to do the suit up into Mr. Knight, and it was again a very good cut on motion as he lands. So that I appreciated. I thought that was quite good. Yeah, overall I thought the editing was good, but there were some, not necessarily mistakes, but things I did not really care for. So I'll do a 7 out of 10. Cinematography. There were some really great shots in here. I don't think there was anything that impressed me quite as much as the first one did with that mirrored shot that was upside down. But the big Conchu moment in the storage facility, I thought that was all done very well in terms of lighting and cinematography. And as unnecessary as it was, that shot of the jackal creature just like impaled on the spike with the moon in the background, that was very good. And overall I liked it a lot, but there was definitely less that impressed me here, so I'll do an 8 out of 10. Sound design. Overall, the sound design, it still sounds a little Marvel samey to me, but I will say the more Egyptian style like tones to it were less subtext in this one. They were more overt, which I did like, but still pretty subtle in comparison to something like Shang-Chi, so I'll do an 8 out of 10. Acting was very, very good. I thought the voice acting for Conchu was actually surprisingly good, and Oscar Isaac just, he's so incredibly good. Like, now that there are multiple scenes and conversations between Mark and Steven, it's just all the more impressive that he's playing both parts in the scene, because the characters like could not be more different from one another. Like, there's the accent, the mannerisms, the mental state of each character, and he does such a good job, especially with that final scene there where the two of them are kind of, I guess, explaining how things are going to be right now. Like, I really felt for Steven when he says, you know, like, I don't like this, I feel like I can't move. You can just feel the horror, you can just feel the terror and almost like jealousy in his voice. Like, you hear it from both of them, like whoever's in control, you hear this kind of jealousy from the other one, and fuck yes, that makes sense. Like, knowing that that's what it's like when you're not in control, hell yes, I would want to always be in control. Like, out of the two characters, I like Steven a lot more, so I want him to have control. But yeah, Oscar Isaac's performance really pulls all of that across and on screen. It's very impressive. Ethan Hawke, I think, did a very good job as well, you know, trying very hard to be nice to Steven, because he's like, oh, this isn't the fighter of the two, so I can try and get him to play ball. And seeing him slowly kind of snap and lose his patience with Steven was very good. So I'll do a 10 out of 10 for acting. Costumes and makeup. I think that was very strong here. For the most part, all the costumes are very in character, including our newcomer Layla. And now that I've gotten to see the Moon Knight suit in action just a little bit more, I love it. I think it looks really good. And I actually really like the design for the Mr. Knight suit as well. While some of the jokes and the, I guess, nature of that scene didn't quite land for me, the costume I thought was great. So I'm actually going to do a 10 out of 10. Set design I also thought was quite good. We didn't see as many new sets as I was expecting. I don't know, the way they ended the first episode, I kind of assumed we would just stick with Moon Knight at the start of episode 2 and then move to various locations with that character. But instead, we kind of returned to Steven's normal life, so we got the museum, his apartment, but they did go more in depth with Arthur's whole, base of operations. And I gotta say, I like how they made it all look. It definitely gives me kind of like hippie cult vibes a little bit, which I think is well suited for the character. And I don't know how accurate it is, but the room that Mark is in at the very end in Egypt, it looked really nice. Again, I don't know how accurate it is, but it looked very cool. The green screen was a little obvious, but wasn't too egregious. And I really enjoyed the location for the final conversation between Mark and Steven. Again, killing the creature on that spike was a little dramatic, but it did provide an awesome location for all the dialogue to follow, and a really cool looking mirror and way to have that conversation as well. So I'll do a 9 out of 10. And finally, the visual effects. I think they are substantially better than the first episode. I don't know if they were just a little too rushed with some of the effects on that first episode. I really don't know what happened there, because honestly, the effects here, to me, it seems like night and day, pretty much. No pun intended. But again, there's lots of really cool use of reflections and effects that they have to use for that, and all those look super convincing. I thought the effect of Arthur using the staff to summon the creature, while the portal opening, it was kind of weird. Like, it was almost like it melted reality around it, rather than like opened a gate to something else. I don't know if I'm explaining it right, but I did think it looked really cool. I had no problem with it. I thought it was very, very solid. But I do think there were some moments with the jackal that just didn't look super convincing, which is why I assume they did most of the fight with the invisible take on it. But even during the invisible parts, there were kind of cartoonish movements of like floating objects that didn't really work for me. But yeah, overall, I think the effects were much, much better, but there were still some issues I had just here and there. So I'll do an 8 out of 10. And that gives this episode an 8.6 out of 10, which I think is actually a little higher than the score I gave the first episode. Which, to be clear, I did like the first episode just a little bit better, but I thought this was very, very good as well. It was really just the visual effects on that first episode that dropped that score down so much, and here that was not really an issue. But yeah, I'm enjoying what they're doing with the story so far. I was not expecting the marriage twist with Layla, the way they're exploring how these two people are cohabiting this one body is really good. Every time they actually start delving more and more into that, I am like glued to the screen. It's great. The major thing I'm looking forward to is, you know, getting to Ahmet's tomb now. I'm like, what's gonna happen there? Like, what does Ahmet look like? What's she gonna be able to do whenever they enact said evil plan? But anyways, I am very excited for that third episode next week, so I will see you all there. And that's about it.